Welcome to Rangers Radio on the Matchday Show, the world's one and only unique live phone-in show for Rangers supporters all over the world. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, hello and good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio on this pre-match show, Rangers versus Aberdeen on a cold January night at Ibrox. We will be joined this evening by myself, Robert, and Oxgear. Oxgear's just in a technical issue at the moment, so I'll just run through the team that takes the field tonight to face Aberdeen at Ibrox. Jack Butland, Tavernier, Fernandez, Suter, Magoma, Barron, Raskin, Diamonde, Moore, Gassama and Chermiti. The substitutes this evening: Kelly, Enciala, Aarons, Sterling, Matondo, Double, Asgard, Miovski and Danilo. So that's our team for this evening's visit of Aberdeen to Ibrox. Two changes from the weekend over the Old Firm victory. James Tavernier comes in to replace Dujon Sterling and Mohamed Diamonde replaces Asgard in the midfield. As I said, we'll be joined by Oxgear, but you've got me for a couple of moments, just while he fixes out the technical issue, and we'll be bringing you the preview of tonight's game. Rangers come into this game this evening, obviously in some good form. 3 wins in the last week or so, particularly a noticeable victory, an emphatic victory at the weekend over our arch rivals. A win this evening can see us move up to second in the league, which I think we can all agree, to all the listeners out there, is a remarkable position in conversation to have, considering where we were only a short time ago, back in October. Aberdeen obviously visit without a manager this evening. Jimmy Tillene was sacked at the weekend, so they'll have their interim boss. The game was in doubt this evening to go ahead, with obviously a lot of snow falling up in Aberdeen, and there was a bit of concern on whether the team and supporters would get through, but thankfully their team have managed to get through, and a few Aberdeen supporters have travelled well in their numbers this evening to head to Ibrox. For everyone that's joining us again this evening, I'll just run through the team quickly. Butland, Tavernier, Fernandez, Suter, Magoma, Barron, Raskin, Diamonde, Moore, Gassama and Chermiti. On the bench this evening: Kelly, Enciala, Aarons, Sterling, Matondo, Double, Asgard, Miovski and Danilo. And I think we've been joined by Ox here this evening. Evening, Ox. Welcome in, mate. You hear me okay, Ox? Are you in? This modern day technology.
Just the same as always there at the moment. I'll pick over with you for a couple of minutes, mate.
Evening, Fox. How are you looking forward to the game tonight, mate? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, very much so, mate. Very much hoping that we can reproduce the second half display that we did at the weekend for the whole 90 minutes of the night and secure 3 points, which is badly needed by us to really show that we're back in this title fight tonight.
Aye, you're right, mate. You've got to go and back up the weekend's victory with a victory again tonight. Points over performance, first and foremost, Fox.
Oh, without a doubt. I know we want to be entertained when we're watching the Rangers, but it's points all that matters at the present time.
Aye, as I said, mate, we can win in the night. We go up to second in the table, which puts the pressure on other teams around us. Hearts would be 3 points behind, and then obviously 3 points ahead of them across the city before they play their next fixture. So the pressure changes.
Without a doubt. I'm trying to get Ox in at the moment. If you just give me a wee second, just keep talking, mate, and I'll join in when I can.
Yeah, no worries, mate. That's absolutely fine. I've got the Aberdeen lineup here, so I'll run through the Aberdeen team. The Aberdeen's lineup tonight is Mitov, Devlin, Noster, Milne, Gemafi, Shinnie, Kennartson, Polvara, Balavic, Armstrong, and Nisbet. I think we all know what Aberdeen will do in this game this evening. They'll have a tight defence. I think they'll come quite solid and compact, trying to be difficult to break down. And that's when we look to our wide players. Moore and Gassama, for me, would be the key players this evening to try and unlock those defence. And obviously, Moore and Chermiti come into the game with a bit of form. So certainly, you look for them to be the way forward this evening. Again, for everyone listening, welcome to Rangers Radio. I'll just run through the team again this evening. Just sorting some technical issues out. Ox will be on his way. Tonight's team is Butland, Tavernier, Fernandez, Suter, Magoma, Barron, Raskin, Diamonde, Moore, Gassama, and Chermiti. On the bench, Kelly, Enciala, Aarons, Sterling, Matondo, Double, Asgard, Miofsky, and Danilo. Fox, are you with us at the moment?
I am indeed, pal. I'm just still trying to get him in, but aye, it'll be a tough wee fixture tonight. Aberdeen, similar with a lot of things that's going on in Scottish football at the moment, have lost their manager as well. A man who was touted up to the high heavens last year, and everybody was saying he was the next best thing. And this goes to show you that you don't get long in this managerial shot, do you, mate?
No, you certainly don't, mate. I think at this point last season, they were still considered title contenders. So it just shows you how quickly a year in Scottish football can turn. 1 minute you're top of the table, you win a Scottish Cup, and you've got your jotters not long after.
I think
You
we
with
might
us,
have.
Ox?
Oh, mate.
How we doing, gentlemen? Sorry about that. Sod's Law, they call that right at the start of it, and everything goes Pete Tong. Yeah, Robert, 2 big talking points for me, mate. Similar to what I think you've already touched on, but I think there's a lot of logic in what we've done in the team selection tonight, yeah?
Aye, absolutely, mate. Obviously, for me, the 2 changes are probably required for different reasons, if I'm being honest. I'll take Diamonde first, if you don't mind. I think it's clear that Asgard's performance at the weekend was non-existent. Diamonde came in, made the midfield better and compact, and changed the game for us, so that's an obvious one. I think Tavernier coming back into the side may have something to do with obviously Sterling's incident at the weekend as well, maybe just protecting him as well. That's my opinion there, mate, on that one.
I'm going to go at a slightly different angle, mate. I think that when Sterling coming back for a long-term injury, maybe 3 games in a week is maybe too much, mate.
Aye, that's certainly a great point as well. And he played very well at the weekend as well. So, aye, certainly factors can contribute it. But 2 changes from a winning team is not the worst.
No, when Sterling's on the bench to give you changes and Asgard's on to come in and try and regain his place in the team, mate. And obviously he scored in the last 2 games at Ibrox. I'm not his biggest fan, but you can't deny that he's helped us get these run of results, because he did score the 2 goals out of 3 at Ibrox in the last 2 games.
Aye, he certainly did. And at that point, I think a few of us started to maybe think, is it the start of something? Is he maybe coming to the floor a wee bit? But I think the first half performance, obviously, from him, it shows you that he's not got it in him maybe consistently. And that shows you the player that he's not yet for us. And we hope that he could be. So again, he is there if he needs to come on and try and make a difference. But I've got no issues with the starting selection tonight from Danny Rule.
Yep. Aberdeen, Mitov, Devlin, Neuster, Milne, Gaffey, Shinnie, Carlson, Belova, Bilic, Armstrong, and Nisbet. The players we know: Devlin, Shinnie, Armstrong, Nisbet. Been about a long time, yeah. The rest, I'm pretty much neutral to, yeah.
Yeah, they scout a lot of kind of foreign players from out with. The only one probably thing in there that we know is Mitov, was a St Johnstone goalkeeper previously.
All right, aye, so it is, mate.
Aye, the rest of the team is picked from elsewhere. I think they did a centre half, Alfred Dorrington, was recalled by, I think it was Spurs he's on loan from. He was recalled this afternoon, so that's why he's not involved.
Right, okay. They must be scared he's going to get scared, eh?
Aye, might get Moore against him. Aye, they're like, we'll let Moore play, but we'll pull him back just to protect him.
All right, we better get the phone lines open, mate. Yes,
Absolutely, mate. Good to hear from the Bears.
let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes, Rangers team, please, Robert.
Certainly, Rangers team this evening is Butland, Tavernier, Suter, Fernandez, Magoma, Barron, Raskin, Diamondi, Moore, Gassama, and Chamiti. Substitutes: Kelly, Enciala, Aarons, Sterling, Matondo, Dowell, Asgard, Miovski, Danilo.
Right, I'm going to ask you a question, mate. I think we played a back four. People think different. I think we played a back four the whole match at the weekend, mate. I think the change was in the midfield where we sort of played a 4-2-3-1 with Asgard in front and the boys in the midfield did a lot. And then we went, in my opinion, we went to basically a 4-3-3, trying to get the fullbacks forward. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I agree with that, mate.
How do you see it setting up tonight?
I think it'll be set up the same way we came out the second half. 4-3-3. Diamondi will be on the left. Raskin will be on the right in the midfield and Barron sitting. And I think Raskin, given his run and the goal involvement in the weekend, might get a wee licence to go a wee bit further forward, if I'm being honest. He's got it in him.
And Barron does the doggies, if you like, in the midfield. Is that what you're thinking?
Yep.
Yeah, but be fair in them. I mean, it was Diamandi that played the ball to Raskin. Barron made the run to help Chamiti run into the goal. You know, so they were involved in the two big moments. No, I'm not giving Barron an assist for running, but if he hadn't made that run, the defender, I think, naturally goes towards Chamiti. Yeah.
Aye, listen, they've got their flaws and we've critiqued them over the season so far. But I don't think they can argue that, although it's not the greatest midfield we've got, it's probably the strongest midfield, whether you go in form or anything. They have a good chemistry together. And as you said, the two goals that they were involved in, it shows that, especially the first goal, Raskin Diamondi, kind of quick give and go. And then Barron, as you say, not something he's really known for, is those kind of gut busting runs forward, but it does, and it gives Trusty something to think about and makes it probably easier for Chamiti to come in and score. So involved, although not directly, influenced the play still.
Aye, influence, aye. And they played all right the second half of the midfield, didn't they, if we're honest?
Aye, they controlled it, mate. They controlled it. It was night and day from the first half. They were closer together. The passes were more accurate. They were, as I said, a bit more chemistry between them. That 4-2-3-1 is what I looked at to be starting on Saturday. It just never worked. And you've got to give credit to Danny Rowe for changing it half time, recognised an issue, and it paid off. Obviously get the win. So he's kind of got to go with the same midfield because essentially your midfield probably won you the game and turned the game into our favour. I know Chamiti scored and Butland saved us, but those slight changes that you don't maybe realise at the time is probably something that changed the game completely on its head for us.
Aye. Listen, mate, this is a massive game as well, eh?
Oh, it is, mate. You spoke about it on Saturday. Different type of pressure coming into this game tonight. A win obviously takes us into second, and then the pressure changes there as well. Not just for us, but them across the city being three behind us, Hearts being three ahead of us. It just changes the whole context of where it was a couple of weeks ago, which is, as we keep saying, it's remarkable to even have these conversations.
Aye. I mean, I know we'll play the game more, which seems mental, but however, hopefully have the points in the bag, mate, yeah?
Aye, hopefully, mate, hopefully. As I said to Fox, points of a performance. We know we kind of want to be entertaining things, but you take any result, any 3 points at this stage, just to keep this momentum going, the win and run going, and again just put us in a stronger position before another ball's kicked to the next fixture.
Yes, Foxy taught me that years ago. Notch's overperformance, mate. It took me a while to work out what he meant, but I get it now.
Aye, and it's crucial this season. Again, performances haven't been great, but we've managed to grind out results. There's a lot of 1-0 wins in there that at the end of the day it's vital 3 points. So it may be a bit of a long slogged season to sit and watch, but if you're getting points on the board, that's all that matters.
I was talking about Fox's performance.
Well, that's a different story, mate.
Aye,
It's not
listen,
past 9 o'clock yet.
We've got young Jaden Magoma, so if you don't mind, get yourself a mute and let's hear from the young man.
Jaden, after such an important victory on Saturday, how important is switching the focus onto another big game tonight?
Yeah, it was an impressive win from us. Like you said, now the focus is fully on Aberdeen for the next 2 games.
Yeah, and what was it like to be a part of that? I know we've had a couple of days to reflect, after the weekend's victory, but what was it like to be part of that? Such a massive result for the club.
Yeah, it was a really, really good feeling. You could see how much it meant to the fans and to everybody around the place, so everybody's really happy. But like I said, now the focus is now on Aberdeen and really keep pushing on.
Yeah, you've experienced plenty of Ibrox nights under the lights. You know what the atmosphere can be like on these nights. How important is using that to your advantage tonight?
Absolutely, the fans are incredible here, and we know that if we put in a performance, then they'll be behind us, and we know what we need to do today to win.
Yeah, it's been a good response since, especially that Hearts result, 3 wins in a row. Opportunity tonight to make it 4. Is that the key focus, I suppose? Another 3 points before you go and take them on again at the weekend?
Yeah, that's the main aim, is to win. That's the most important thing that we need to do and to top off with a good performance as well. That's the main thing today.
Just for you personally as well, how much you enjoying your football? You've had such a good run in the team this first half of the season, gaining real experience in this loan spell. How much you enjoying your football at the moment?
Yeah, it's been an amazing experience from the start to now. It's been an incredible feeling to play for this club, and I'm enjoying every single moment.
Yeah, and just on Aberdeen, the team haven't faced them so far this season yet. They've had a change of manager as well, leaving them over the weekend too. What sort of challenge are you expecting this evening?
I think as a club you always know what Aberdeen are going to bring, but for us we know that we need to just bring a performance together, and it's all about us tonight, so yeah.
Yeah, just lastly, what sort of qualities is Danny going to be looking for the squad to get another victory this evening?
The same as always really, is like I said, it's down to us, so we need to make sure that we get the result and we perform under the fans today.
Yeah. Listen, I think he's done all right. He's not a finished article and he's raw and he's not the best defender, but his pace has got him out of trouble a few times, mate. And he's developing. I don't think he's a worse football player, young Jaden, we've ever seen at the club. Should he be starting every game? That's another debate, Robert, but he's done okay. He's had some really good games. He's not the biggest, which sometimes can be an issue, but I think he's not a bad footballer.
No, he's not. You can certainly see that there's been improvements under him, or with him, since Danny Rose came in as well. But from the first game of the season, he's still a youngster. He's still raw. We know he's got a long way to go to be the finished article, as you say. But the amount of games he's playing for a young boy, and because he's the only left back, really, naturally, he probably needs to start every game or most games. But you've got to manage that at the same time. But when he has performed, he's done well. He's a good outball as well. I think the past couple of games, him and Mike and Moore have linked up really well doing that left-hand side, rather than having to rely on the right-hand side with Tavernier as much. So, again, the more games he plays, the more experience he gets, and he'll mature and improve going forward.
Let's hear your Danny Rowe.
Danny, off the back of such a big win at the weekend, how important's taking momentum and bouncing into the fixture this evening?
Yeah, we said this after the game. It's all about the next game. Was a fantastic afternoon for us as a group, a big win. But it's nothing in football. It's all about the next game, and we know today we have a difficult one. After they have a new interims manager, you never know what happens. Emotional side will be there. But it's about us today, bring the basics right, bring a lot of effort in, create a good atmosphere. I can imagine today we will have a good atmosphere in the stadium, and yeah, I think this is also the part I changed not so many things. from the second half, just one position. Dusan gets a little bit of load management because it was a big load. Let's see, during the game, we need him. Yeah, and then I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah, you mentioned Dusan there and the team, the changes from the weekend, particularly Mohamed Diamande coming in, his impact off the bench. Was that a real factor in him coming into the starting lineup this evening?
Yeah, he deserved. I think he helped us massive in the second half in this game. A strong midfield we have. It was in this game, yeah, a little bit the momentum. I think with the early yellow card from Tello, it was not easy for him then. But all in all, we have a good group together, and I know there are again some players on the bench that want to play, and they can help us later on.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. Not played against Aberdeen yet this season, but played them back to back. How do you sort of prepare the team for that? But most importantly, getting a victory firstly tonight.
Yeah, it was of course not the easiest one for preparing this game because a new manager has maybe some new ideas. They changed 4 positions from the last game, a little bit more physical side, a little bit more runners. But it's up to us. Yeah, I think this is also important now to understand. If you want to be top of the table, you have also to look to yourself. You have to perform well. You have to deliver when you have to, and this is up to us today.
Yeah. Just lastly, you mentioned the atmosphere. You've experienced plenty of big nights here so far. Important though the fans be once again to try and get another victory.
Yeah, I think this is up to us as well. I said if we deliver, then the atmosphere will be great. We make a good step forward on the weekend. Our fans were incredible away. A big welcome when we come back. You feel it, yeah. There's a lot of positivity at the moment, and let's carry on and try to get the next 3 points.
I'm liking Danny Rowe. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. He's a realist, I think. Is that fair, Robert?
Aye, he says it as he sees it. He's always been quite open and honest about his interviews, whether it's pre-match or post-match, even after defeats as well. I'd say it's a fair comment to make, and the most upbeat I heard him so far was pre-match against the mob across the city the weekend. He was very excited, and I'm sure that excitement continued along into the night.
Aye. I don't mind. He's learning on the job as well, mate, and he's learning about the nuances of Scottish football, which there is a few, mate.
Yeah, there certainly is, and as you say, he's learning on the job. Again, before games, after games, during games, he's adaptable, which is something that we like to see. We don't always want to just have one plan A. He's got a few options, whether it's personnel, formations, slight tweaks that you might not see right away until you maybe watch a game back. But he's doing well. Listen, I know he was under a microscope when he came in because a lot of people didn't fancy the name, didn't recognise maybe what he'd done previously and where he's been, but he's answered a lot of critics wrong, and he's right. It's all about us and just keep momentum going. And so far, he's delivering what we wanted. A team that can go and get results, get us back into positions that we thought weren't possible 3-4 months ago.
Did you see this coming, mate? That we would, when we could go 3 above them. I know they get matches played, they get all that, but in 3 behind Hearts, where we were when Russell Martin was at the club, mate. I didn't see it coming. I thought it would take a one day and maybe next summer to try and get even remotely back to a run of results, mate. And he's done remarkable, and the players,
To answer your question, mate, no, I didn't see it coming. No, this soon anyway. I thought maybe over time, but again, a kind of gradual build process of picking up points here and there, a few bumps on the road. We kind of pick up games where we get some points on the board, but to get the kind of run that he's been on and clean sheets as well. Again, performances haven't always been pretty, but the points have been delivered so far, bar a few kind of bumps and sidesteps, as he calls it. But over the piece, mate, I don't think anybody can really have any arguments that he's done a very good job of what he's got so far. As have the players, they've responded to him as well, which is not always easy. But again, you look back and think the players that were performing or underperforming the old regime, to now, you can see there is certain steps and improvements being made. It's just now consistency, momentum, and keep delivering going forward.
Aye, and we know we're not a finished article. We're quite honest about that. Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde at times, yeah.
Oh, aye, Saturday proves that as well.
Aye, game of two halves, but you need to win the game. So look, it's a big game. I want to shout the team out for people that's joining us late, and then we'll get people on to see if they want to join us as we start letting the watch to kick-off time, mate. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Tonight's team is Butland, Tavernier, Fernandez, Suter, Magoma, Barron, Raskin, Diamondi, Moore, Gassama, and Chermiti. The bench is Kelly, Enciala, Aarons, Sterling, Matondo, Dibble, Asgard, Miowski, and Danilo.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes, look, mate, we've not got a lot of injuries now, yeah? The vast majority of our players are back, yeah?
I think the only noticeable one's probably Bayrami, possibly.
Aye. What would you think? Hamstring? We looked at hamstring, they've done it, yeah?
Aye, it'd appear so, mate.
Yeah. So we'll get Enciala and Sterling. Aaron's covering the defensive issues. Sterling, arguably midfield, along with Dill and Asgard. Maybe not my two favourites. And then we'll get two centre forwards if we need them, and a winger. We might not recognise if he comes on the park to make his 19th league appearance. Well, it's not his league appearance. He's still on. I started 18 games if he gets on the night. But everybody's back, as you say. You know, and it's unusual at this time of the year. It's all about winning the night. No, really. With young Jaden mentioned performance. I just want to win, mate. I really just want to win.
Aye, absolutely. It's good having the options on the bench. Again, there's a few names in there that probably you would think you've seen the last of over the last few months or months ago. Let's be fair, maybe a year ago, i.e. Matondo, but it's still competition for places. You've still got, as I said, Bayrami's out injured. Antman's back in training. I've seen from the pictures as well. But as you said, they're all wanting to play, and that's because we're winning. There's a feel-good factor. You can see it in the stands. You can see it in the players, the reactions, the belief. Everybody wants to play when you're winning. It's easy to kind of hide when things aren't going well, but when you're winning, you want to play and you want to perform. But at the end of the day, you can play poorly and still win, because that's the most vital thing, is just winning, to keep going, keep pushing, and keep the hunt on, as Danny Rule says.
Yeah, and well, I know it's always a big game when we play them, but if the results hadn't went, I think the result on Saturday's maybe put 10,000. I think it'll be close to full the night. And you think of the weather conditions all over the place, mate. It's remarkable, really, and that just shows you that people will come out and support the team if the team support us, if that makes sense.
Aye, exactly. And Danny Rule touched on it there in his interview, that the atmosphere will be good, but the players need to go and give the fans something to cheer about and shout about as well. It's not just relying on the fan support to get behind the team. The team need to show something on the park, whether that's scoring goals, playing well, the crowd react to it, and it adds a factor that plays in and gives you that confidence as a player, especially at Ibrox, to go perform, especially ability, but ultimately go and win the game. And I've got to say, as much as there's a bit of a history with Aberdeen, you've got to give credit to their support that's came through tonight as well. As you said, a lot of poor conditions, especially up north, and they've travelled through in their numbers. So well done for them for plumbing through, pardon the pun. And I'm sure they'll have a safe journey back as well, as much as everything about the two teams is there, the rivalry and whatnot, but at the end of the day, supporters will come and cheer their teams on.
Aye. Well, there's a lot of Blue Roses travel for that part of the world as well, mate, you know, so they make the journey all the time, you know, and it has been extreme up there, even for that part of the world, you know. They're used to a bit of snow, but I think I read somewhere it's the most they've had in 15 years or something.
They're talking about 3 or 4 foot, and as you know, I'd probably be buried under that snow if I went up there now.
Don't worry, I'd find you, mate. I'd get you. I'd bring one of the barrels of brandy, mate.
Oh, pass.
Aye. Right, okay. How do you see panning out tonight? I think Gassaman and Moore have got a big part to play tonight, mate.
I think so. I think the midfield again. It's picked itself really over the weekend's performance, and if they play the way they've did in the second half, that will give Moore and Gassama a lot of license to do their thing out wide and come inside and whatnot. I think the final third for us tonight's vitally important. There's momentum there. You've got goals from Moore, Chamiti, two good performances, get goals at today's game. But I think the wide men in particular are probably going to be key this evening.
I just feel that I think they'll not open up that much. Yeah, they're not in the greatest run of form, you know. So I think they'll try and keep it cagey, but we have to get in the back of them, mate, and get the ball in, you know, because I can't see them being expansive like and letting us score a goal like the second goal at the weekend. Yeah, I just don't see it happening. I think they'll try and keep it tight. The usual Scottish football stuff. Good to see they've got a good blue nose on the bench running their team again. Yeah.
Aye, there's a certain article doing the rounds of some words he said in the past previously. It's not the first time he's been here as an interim manager. I think he done okay when he was in previously, but again, he'll want to just keep things tight and try and not frustrate us, try and get the crowd on our backs as well by playing that kind of low block, not giving too much away. I think they'll be quite compact, hard to break down. And I think their game plan will try and be go long. I know Nisbet's not the tallest, but I think they'll look just to try and get in behind us.
Aye, he's not the worst player, not the best player we've seen this, but not the worst. And I know that on Mucker's outside always felt as if he's maybe took a punt on him, you know. But listen, he's moved on. Was it Millwall? He went to Hibs and then back up to Aberdeen. So, but
Aye,
he
you're right.
scored goals against us and them in the past. So he's not the worst. He always works hard. I'll give him that. So you need to be on your toes, and I think you'll know you've been in a game. Yeah, different type. But a lot of the times we played, you know, the St Mirren sort of stroke Kilmarnock centre forward. Yeah.
Yeah, he's quite kind of on the last man, using a bit of his pace. He's not the fastest, but he's not a physical threat. He's not got the height, maybe not got the strength, but he does get around the pitch quite a bit. But I think the performances of Suter and more so Fernandez of late have been really impressive, and I think they'll keep him quiet. And again, just keep things simple at the back as well for us. No silly mistakes or anything at all. Just keep it simple and stroll it the way they did the second half at the weekend.
And by the way, if we get set pieces, get it in there.
Aye. I don't mind a short corner, change the angle and get it in. You've got a lot of height in the squad there. Suter can header a ball when he wants to. Fernandez, Chermiti, of course. We know Rassen's got a leap on him as well, but with Tavernier back in the side, it won't be surprising that Tavernier's back in the corner, so we'll see what deliveries come into the box from there.
Aye, young McGomez took them for the. I like in swingers. I always have, mate. Yeah, I just think it's harder to defend, mate. If you get it right, I think you'll score more often for an in swinger than an out swinger. I don't know what the stats are. I'm just giving you my personal opinion, no.
I am the same, mate. I think an in swinger's always better because you're putting the team under pressure. An out swinger for me is you're pretty much half clearing the ball already. But you put a good in swinging ball in, your men can get a run, get from a free man or wriggle free, and it's towards goal already. Whereas if it's away from goal, you're having to work a wee bit positionally. So I just think it's a better delivery from a in swinger.
Aye, I get people's thoughts that you're taking the ball away for the goalie and that. I get all that, but I don't. Just me, mate. Just me. You're similar, you know. But look, the delivery, out swinger or in swinger, if you don't get it past the first man, it doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't. That's what I'm saying about. It's interesting to see how we do set pieces with Tavernier come back in the side, because you'd imagine he will be on the in swingers, whether they stick to Magoma doing in swingers or whether Tav's back on both sides. We'll see as the game goes on, but you've got to be the first man, whether no matter if it's a free kick or a corner, got to be the first man, because if you don't, again you're exposing yourself to teams to counter attack you on the break, and you've seen before we can be caught out with it.
I just, that's one of my things about an outswinger, mate. Yeah, unless you've got a move that you're trying to do something. If you don't get it right, you actually clear the ball. You know, but I know that the goalie can come and punch an inswinger and he clears it. The same thing can happen. I get all that, but I just think it always looks harder to defend when it's right and tappy and it's whipped in. A good inswinger is harder to defend for me than a good outswinger, but if the corners, and you've got to get the corner first, we've got to keep this run up of scoring goals, mate. Keep going. And it would be really good if Big Chermity chipped in with another couple of big goals tonight, mate. Yeah.
Aye, he'll certainly be keen himself to keep going. Again, he's had a good performance against St Mirren without scoring, and then obviously gets the 2 goals at the weekend. Works well second half, so he'll be wanting to take this opportunity to just keep kicking on. And if he starts contributing more in the influence games, then it's only a positive for us as supporters to watch the team around him. And again, just breeds confidence in him. As you've always said, goals gives you confidence, mate. And I'm sure he'll be keen to keep that kind of form on that he's on. Whether it's another goal or even an assist, but as a striker, you want to be scoring goals. But if he contributes as well, I'm sure he'll be pleased with his performance and long may it continue.
I think it'd be good for him, mate. Good for the team. You know, if he's to go on a run of goals, mate, obviously, hopefully that means we're winning the matches. I think then all of a sudden people start saying, well, he's got 10 goals this season. It takes away the flop tag with him. And he does look, I don't know, fitter.
Aye, he's starting to move a wee bit more. He kind of stretches his legs. And he's got a bit of pace about him as well. I think you've seen that at the weekend with the second goal in particular. He just opened up and, I mean, I know he had acres of space around it, but he's still got to get to the goal quicker than any other player. And he certainly showed a bit of pace. So where their fitness is coming along as well, with more game time as well. But ultimately, if you look back, mate, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and if Chermity was starting ahead of Miovski, you would be going, not sure. Whereas now, you've got no complaints based on the last 2 performances.
Okay. By the way, that was some tweet, wasn't it? The Saturday that Sim scored more goals than Parkhead than Bareilles and Boyd put together. I thought that was brilliant. Some stat, eh?
It certainly is, mate. Aye, it certainly is. And you know how good they were individually for us. So it's a start that you can go, well, that's something he's got. But he'll not be worried about these tweets and things. He'll be focused on his performances. And as I said, if he can take the last 2 games into tonight's game, another good performance, hopefully got on the score sheet, then it does him, as you say, the world of good, as is the players about him, because it'll give the players around him, i.e. your Moores, Gasamas, a bit of confidence that if they give him the ball, we can do something with it and not fall over it like previously might have done.
Aye. I mean, I didn't see this coming with him. I didn't see it, mate. I thought he wasn't great against St Mirren. Yeah. But he was arguably our best player against Motherwell and if I got that the right way around, Motherwell and Celtic, yeah. Outfield player. I get the argument for Butland and Saturday, I understand that, but I think when you score 2 goals like that, I think you're always going to grab the headlines.
Aye, well, as a striker, you should be. It's an expectation, especially at Rangers, to be on the score sheet in these big games, winning games, winning points. Again, I gave Butland man of the match simply because he gave us that platform in the second half to go and get it, but you've still got to go and make a mark in the game, and Chermity did. So he's had his critics. I'm sure there's still a lot of people still out there thinking maybe it's just a wee spell, but if he keeps going the way he's performed lately, then you might be something there, and he'll make us eat humble pie, because I'll be honest with yourself, Fox, I didn't see it coming. He just didn't look right, but he's starting to prove a lot of doubters wrong, so fair play to him.
No, listen, mate, I get it, mate. I mean, you can only critique what you saw. You know, and you never even see people saying, well, he's played well and no scored goals. It was the combination, whereas the last 2 games he's played well. It's well has scored 2 goals, yeah.
I seen a stat yesterday from the game from the weekend broken down where he was first in every department pretty much, or at least joint first, with duels won, tackles, shots, goals, whatever it may have been. He was the top performer. So it's a quick turnaround if you really think about it for where he was in what kind of pressure he's under. He's still under pressure, still a long way to go. But as I said, if he keeps doing what he's doing, goals to his games, assists, contributions, then he will prove us wrong. And there's no way better to prove doubters wrong than to go and make your mark, get us points on the board.
Aye. 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 We might have Kevin Fairwell phoning the show one night.
Yeah, it might be we might eat humble pie with that one as well and say Kevin Phil had an eye for a player all of a sudden. But again, long way to go, mate. Long way to go before Andy says that.
Aye, might come on and say, you said this and you said that. Oh, we did. And we were right at the time, mate.
Aye, at the time, aye. But again, as I said, the only way you prove people wrong is by going and making a name for yourself. And at Rangers as a striker, that's by scoring goals, getting important wins.
Aye. Yeah. Suter and Sterling, they're coming back from injury, and obviously Danny Rowe mentioned Sterling's load. Yeah. And I actually think there's sense in that, mate. Yeah. I don't know, 3 games a week. You know, you get this out the way, you've got a bit of space to let them get more games and then sharpness. Yeah.
Aye, it's a good player to have, and obviously you've got to manage the load of minutes given how long the injury was previously. But again, as you said earlier, he's a defensive cover, but also could be used as a midfielder. Gives you even at fullback, both sides. He could play both, so he's a good addition to have. He brings something different. He's got a physical presence as well, no matter where you put him on the pitch.
Did you see him? I don't know if you picked up on it. See when we got the throw-in, the young Conor Barron's taking it for the equaliser. Did you see him walking back after he's done his run up the park? He's got some swagger, isn't he?
It's what a big man does, isn't it? He just swaggers about the place. It's that physical presence of just, I'm here to boss it.
He's got that walk similar to yourself. I don't know if you've noticed it, no?
Oh, no, I mean, I don't look at myself in the mirror that much.
All right, he's got that wee bit of swagger about him, but he's got it. Sterling, I mean, I think we've missed him at times, mate. I think he brings something that I don't know what. I don't think he's a centre half. Yeah, I really don't, because I don't think he's the greatest in the air. Yeah, but there's something about him I've always liked, mate. His best period was, for me, defensive mid, but it annoyed them on Saturday. See when he just started putting the ball down the wing and just running, mate. That what's his name? Was hardly played again for Arsenal. He didn't know what he did he? Yeah, I knew his name, mate. I was only joking.
Just helping you out, mate, as always. No, you're right, he didn't. But I think he's came back at probably an important time for us. I know Suter's back now, but when Sterling came back into the fold, then we were really, really short. So timing couldn't have been any better for him. And it is just about, as you say, managing his minutes, and he's an asset to have almost. Again, he gives you something different, as you say. He can play a number of positions. I think his position for me personally, I think he's a defensive midfielder. Just that strong, powerful person. Doesn't mind running with the ball as well, but he does the dirty work of the game. He'll cover tracks, he'll track runners, because he's that defensive minded. He's not your midfielder that will get forward and contribute with goals or anything, but he's certainly got a bit of an engine on him, and he's strong as well. So it'll take a lot to push him off the ball, that's for sure.
He has to play a run of games, mate. The games again he's played ain't great, mate, since he's joined us, you know. So he has to give a run of games, and obviously Philip come on, extended his contract. If he stays fit, I think he's in the team most weeks, you know, once he's recovered for his injury.
I think it's fair to say that. What position that may be remains to be seen, because as I was saying, versatility is a good thing to have, but you want to play your strongest team and your players in your strongest positions, and for me it's defensive midfielder, but you never know. During your transfer window, summer window, you might see somebody come in that makes him become more of a right back going forward. You never know, but either way, it's a good addition to have going forward. And he's still quite young as well in a way. Do you know what I mean? He's not reaching the latter stage of his career. He's still kind of got a long way to go.
No. Right, okay. How's it going to go tonight, mate? One last word for your good self. You're on a roll, aren't you? You're on a Danny.
I am, mate. I am. Apart from the weekend, I said 2-0, so that was shattered. But I get the goal scorers right. So tonight, I will go for 3-0 Rangers.
Oh, take that, mate. I'll snap your hand off. And are you going to go even bolder?
You want scorers?
Aye.
Okay, I'll go for Chermite and a Mikey Moore double again. I know it's a way
Right.
about, but Mikey Moore double, Chermite.
Do you like Moore?
There's something about him. Something about him, mate. I think under Danny Rose certainly showed that he's got the quality there. And I think he's a good player to have to try and unlock defences. He's got skill, he's got a bit of pace. He's a level above what our squad is, and you can start to see that come to the floor. So he could be a key to unlock a lot of defences going forward, I think.
Okay, mate. Listen, thanks for joining us. Sorry about the hiccup at the start. Totally with my control. Everything was doing. I don't know what happened. Yeah. But listen, we'll be back 15 minutes after the final whistle. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue, who've been beavering away trying to solve some issues we've had. But thanks to the lads as always. We'll be back 15 minutes after the final whistle, celebrating a Rangers victory, Robert. Yes?
Absolutely. 3 points down the road.
Take it away, Old School Blue.
I sailed the wild Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the stormy capes, and I've heard the 40s roar. I've climbed the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea. But there's a sea back home in Scotland, more than all the rest to me. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my rock. It's the greenest sight